Sasi
Purki Jurshime Tokram Rira Lingshin Yende Genpadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Drokun Namdak Shingla Truparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kauniriyatayami
Sangye
Chirang Soki Choknang La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho
Sangye
Chirang Soki Choknam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sunam Ki Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho
Sangye
Chudang Soki Chonam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sunam Ki Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho.
Shogi, shogi, shogi.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right then. Good morning.
She say that she's okay with.
If
Yeah.
we put this chair here, then both of them can attend.
Yeah, I know, but
We can
she's
keep
actually
like
got
she
plans
prefers
to do
to.
other
She's
stuff
comfortable.
this week. She
Yeah.
wasn't expecting you to come.
Who?
We're talking about Christina.
Oh, I thought she was coming. I just want to remind her. Can somebody text Scott? Can you text Scott and tell him I'm going to need to hook my computer up to the screen during my Abhidharma class?
Okay.
So good morning, welcome. And it's nice to see everybody. Some new faces, Anton Kratasyuk from Moscow. He's going to be doing secondary translation into Russian. And Tang Tang from Beijing. That's all the new guys, right? Yeah. So, who? She's old. By the way, that's Noor. I don't know if you're listening, but she gave me a painting of Damascus that she said she has been carrying around for a long time to remind her of her home, which is destroyed now. And and then that's the ladies, one of the first ladies who's making the book cloths for the huge library in Mongolia. And there's about 200,000 books there. And they don't have these cloths. So we have a whole team, Bengalis helping in Europe, refugees from many countries, to make book cloths. And we just got a contract to do, I think we got a $100,000 contract from a new sponsor to do work there in Mongolia. And that's John Brady arranged that, so you should thank him. So it's kind of cool. It's all coming together. All right. They have a lot of beautiful books there. They're all Tsongkhapa lineage. Mongolia was traditionally Tsongkhapa lineage. So it's 200,000 books of Tsongkhapa. And we have a nice team there. So that's going to be cool. So anyway, that's to remind you. And Christina Kasuka framed it very nicely. I'd like to thank her. Yeah. And nice light also. All right then. I want to do a little exposition for in each person's class. Okay, I have a list of stuff. I worked really hard on your translations. Like, Veronica thinks I'm crazy. Like 12 hours a day for the last 3 weeks or something. We're almost done. I'm on the last one, which is Choni Lama's diamond cutter. So I have about another 2 days on that. And then I want to put them all together and offer them to our sponsors, the DACH sponsors, the German and Austrian, and Dr. Wu and some other people. Maybe Mr. Lu, we send a copy. So I think it'll be about 700 pages or something. So that's your result from the first 2 terms. And I just got the 3rd terms, most of them. So, I'll work on those, okay? And I don't know, it's awesome. It's totally beautiful. To me, it's a dream, It's really incredible. And Sugang and Shintian are working on a series of books that will look a little bit like these books. It'll be 108 books of those translations and other books. 65 are done, 31 are in process. The rest are in the dream stage. And so they're going to work on making that series, and they're going to sell subscriptions to it, I think. So like a Kangyo or Tengyo or something like that. So it'll be like Diamond Cutter books or something. I think it's called, I don't know, Diamond Cutter Wisdom Series or Diamond Cutter Classic Series. I don't know which sounds better. I don't know. You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so too.
Okay, well that vote was quick. Okay, I'm just going to go through, let's say 1 page of these. I have about 5 pages of my notes that I made while I was checking your translations. The first one is, when you get a long piece that's difficult and nasty, then cut it up into tiny pieces for people, and they like it a lot better. I'm going to show you some samples. So this is Nick's book. Does the mind exist during the direct perception of emptiness? And then this was, I think this was all like 68, 69, 70, 71, up to 72. These were all one section. And it's easier, it's too much to dump on a person. So try to cut it into small pieces. I used to study Russian in Princeton, and that's the first thing they taught us. They said, when you translate, then break it into small pieces for people. You can't do too small of pieces. And it just makes it more fun for the reader. The reader, when they see a small piece, they think it's not hard. And they see a long piece, even if it's not hard, it looks hard. So just cut things up, okay? The ACIP reference numbers are something like S0015. They used to be like that. They used to be 4 numbers after the S, because we thought we would never get more than 9,999 books, but now we do. So we added another 0. So the catalog, which we have to redo, the ASCII catalog, the flat file catalog, is a mess. It doesn't really exist. And it's all double zeros here. So you just have to be aware that you have to change it. It should be 5 digits, okay? You should always have 5 digits. I'm going to make you do your own bibliography entries. The party's over. I've been doing them for you. But everybody can do that, I'll just give you, I'll say do S0057, and then you have to do it.
Yeah, sure. If there's 200,000 books to be translated, why don't you just make it 6 digits now?
200,000. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, they're not unique. But, yeah, maybe we go to 6 digits sometime. He's got 12 divots and a bunch of letters. But anyway. Okay. This is cool. I used to go crazy over the Tengyo because the numbers didn't fit the books. So, in a Buddhist, in a Tibetan system, in a library, you will number things by alphabet. So A, B, book A, book B, book C, book D. And then when you get through all the A, B, C, Ds, you add a vowel. Book E, B, C, I, D, I. Then when you get through more of those, you go to AE, BE, CE. And it didn't fit for me, and I kept going crazy, and I kept thinking some of the early ACIP people must have made a mistake. And then me and Jigme, we were with Tim in Crickets, this little coffee shop near my house, and we discovered the problem, and we were like jumping up and down, and these country, coffee people were like, what? And they made a mistake. The people who designed the Tengyur made a mistake. And I finally figured it out. And I was so happy. So anyway, they numbered it one way for half of it, and then they numbered it a different way for the other half, just by accident. And I finally figured it out. So all the references in illumination are wrong. And I just have to redo the volume numbers. And so we fixed it. We went through the whole Tengyur. The new Tengyur is clean, and it's all arranged. And then she and Christina, we worked on the Tantra. We found an ancient text about how the Tantra was designed. Half of the Tengyur is Tantra. Maybe over 1,000 books are Tantra, and the Kangyur also. So, and it looks like it's just random, but then we figured it out. We found an ancient book that explains why it's in that order, and we cut it out, and we put it in that order, and we're almost finished with that. We finished the Anuttara Yoga, and it's awesome. It's just totally awesome. So now when you get a hit, like if you go looking for Mahamudra or something,
some of us have been stealing bibliography entries from Illumination, so that
yeah, I know, some of them are wrong. But yeah, that's another idea. We should have a database. After every term is finished, somebody should go and take all the bibliographies from all the translations. There's 12 translations. And just throw them in a file.
I'll do it.
They don't have to be in order.
I
And
got
then that becomes a bibliography entry database, and you don't have to do any work. And that way we can spread mistakes. So let's go to the Tengyur. So I'm looking for Mahamudra, right? And look at the bottom. See, that's new. It tells you which tantric class, unsurpassed. It tells you which tantra, which is Hevajra. It divides it into mother or father tantra, and then you get the actual text. You see what I mean? And that's completely revolutionary. No one's ever done that, and it's really, really cool. And Jigme's been working on that. Yeah. This is just all Mahamudra text. And then we figured out the... Well, anyway, these are different books. These are different books that teach Mahamudra. And there's 7,500 Mahamudra references in the Tantra. Okay, so then this comes to the mother text. You see, it goes to the Hevajra mother text, and it's unbelievable. It's really cool. So then you know where you are for the first time. No one's ever done it. No one's done it since the Kangyur was invented, the Tengyur. Yeah. Poetry, indent poetry, okay? In the English.
Oh, right.
Okay, and it just looks pretty. What's the first page I said?
I didn't see a page.
Let's do this. Yeah, so here, by the way, I added tables of contents for you guys.
That's great. They're great.
They look nice, yeah. Yeah, here, just indented, and it looks nice. It looks nicer. You see what I mean? If it's poetry, okay.
But you don't move the Tibetan.
No, I think it looks nice like that. Yeah, some of it's just an aesthetic decision. And a big part of translation is aesthetics. How does it look on the paper? How does it look? You know, my great teacher used to give me 1 grade for content and 1 grade for aesthetics. Equal grade, you know. So, split sections of long poetry. That's just something I've been doing that looks nice. Let me see. Yeah, so you can, like here, you see, add a period, and it makes it easier for the reader. It's helpful to the reader. So think about it. That's about all we had on that one. Like here, you see, and try it because it reads differently if you made it 7 lines long. It'd be harder to read. Okay, so that's another thing. Let me see. Folios, it's 29 small a, right? The input operators put 29 big A, but normal, and I'm kind of following Chicago manual style, SCIM OS, which is very famous for standard of English. It's Chicago University's rules. It's online, you can get it. I mean, you can subscribe. You have to pay every year. But I've been using that. And I grew up with that. It was the standard when I was a kid. I don't know if it is now, but I think New York Times might be. But it's a good one.
In the bibliography, when you're getting the total page numbers of the text, it seems I have seen 2 different standards standard stuff. One, when it starts with 1A, sometimes you just get the total number of pages. But then there are times when it doesn't start with 1A that you give then like the number that it starts with and the number that it ends on?
That's a good question. Okay, I do it 2 different ways. With the Kangyo or Tengyo, I give the page numbers in the Kangyo and Tengyo. Like it'll be 3, even if it starts with 1B, I'll say 1B to 45A or something like that.
Okay.
So in the Kangyo or Tengyo, I list the start folio and the end folio. But in the Sumbum, I just give the total number of pages.
Okay.
And the reason is the ACIP number gives you the information. You don't need to put all the details in it because it's standard. You see what I mean? If you have the ACIP number, you can go to the ACIP catalog and you can see all the, see here? See here, it's just the total number of pages. And that even, and nowadays the volumes I will split out and give the pages. But then, so that's the Sumbum, native Tibetan works, written in Tibetan. But here's the Kangyo or Tengyo. You give the start page and the end page for them to be able to find it on a scan. Now the reason you give the pages here is that when we input the Tibetan in the early years, we didn't record the publishing house. We didn't record the publishing data. It's in the book. If someone wanted to go back and find it, they could do it. But in the meantime, it will identify the scan for you. The total number of pages will tell you which scan it came from. You see, so you can go to TBRC and you can get 3 versions. And the one that has 441 folios has to be the one we used to input. You see what I mean? So it's a reality check. It's a confirmation thing that you know you have the right scan that we used. Because in the early years we didn't have the people to say this was printed in Dergate Printing Press or something like that. We didn't have the people who could make those decisions. And then a lot of times we weren't allowed to keep the book. We had to give the book back. So in the early years we didn't have books. Nobody had books. Just refugees would come out with books. And we would borrow the book and we would give it back to them. So we couldn't keep them. There was not enough storage to scan those books in 1985. You know, there's no way to scan them. We couldn't afford. The storage was out of the question. You know, the first computers we had didn't have hard disks. They ran off of 2 floppy drives. One was the program and one was the data. Yeah, and it was limited to 300K. Yeah. So we were working off that. So okay, one more, and then we'll get on to your text. When you have a footnote, then change it to this format, okay? And the hyphens are meant to make words. You see? So you have to make decisions about what are the words. That's a whole skill. I have to show you how to do it. But if you quoted, for example, Nagarjuna in a footnote, it should look like this and not like this, okay?
And is this for like when you're referencing the author's name in the text and also...
Authors' names, I will most often in a footnote put in the simple pronunciation because the readers who are going to read these books, they don't want to have more transcription than necessary. And in his versions, we might cut out all the transcription. We might just have English or Russian or German, you know. We may not keep the original text in there. I don't know. Maybe we will just to look smart.
But in the footnote, if I'm saying something like the Tibetan word is...
Then you give the transcription.
Okay.
But if you're quoting a guy's name like Jamyang Shepa, you don't put Ajams Yangs, you know.
And if I were putting the transcription, since it's a footnote, would I still do lowercase with
Yeah,
hyphen?
yeah. And most often I'm talking about when he quotes 2 lines of a verse and you want to give the reader the other 2 lines, which can be very helpful. That's a big thing in a footnote. It's like you don't know, but the other half of this quotation is very sexy. Here it is. And then you give it in this format. You know, and you do the bibliography in this format, as you know. Okay, one more.
There's another bibliography question.
Yeah.
And I think I did this wrong in what I just turned in actually, but volumes, when you have multiple volumes of a single text,
Yeah.
Do you give the bibliography entry for that volume, or do you?
No, for the whole thing,
Yeah,
for the
right.
series. And now lately,
Yeah.
I've done, let me think of a person. I think Word might be an example.
Mine have the series. I saw that you added.
Oh, okay, so Sugang, where are you?
I did this wrong.
Just in this last round, I made a new standard
Okay.
for that. A very question.
I saw that you added in the whole range of the series.
Yeah, let's see. Here, right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa.
yeah, all the volumes.
And see, that's again to identify it for people.
Okay.
And it's a pain in the ass. It takes me like a half hour.
Sure.
But you only have to do it once.
Right.
One person has to suffer,
Right.
and then the other people can use it forever. So he
Yeah.
wrote this book in 8 volumes. And this is a commentary to each of the chapters of the Abhidharmakosha. There are 8 chapters. So each volume has its own page count. And again, that's so they can identify which edition it is from the scans, even though we didn't record the edition. You see what I mean? Okay. And it's a lot of work. But you only have to do it once, in theory. Okay? All right.
Okay.
And my thing about this kind of work is you just gotta be, the buck stops here. I take responsibility. I'll do it for an hour. I'll go look up all the page numbers. And then, don't be in a rush. If you're in a rush, you can't be a translator. If it takes 12 hours, take 12 hours. Then do it. Sit there for 12 hours. And now I have a standing desk. I do 6 hours on the chair and 6 hours on the stand. They're $90. They're really good. It saves your butt a lot. Okay. Okay. So we'll do the rest we'll take another person's time. Let's see. Which book am I in?
Yeah, this
Here we go. Okay. Oops. Am I right here? I think so. Okay, go.
Kachik nare.
Oh, wait, let me make it a little bigger for people. There we go.
Rangyu marik pe kunne lang pe sak che kile yina. Pang
Yeah, good.
ya
Pangja.
pangja yin pe kapsen.
Okay, good. Like Anton, don't get scared, okay? You'll learn. So just sit here like a fool, durak some, and it'll sink in. And you know, a few days from now, you'll feel comfortable. Not right now. Okay. It often sounds like what it looks like, and then often it doesn't sound like what it looks like. Okay. You want to take a shot? Kachik nare.
Someone comes and claim
Yeah, by the way, you take the verb from here, ser,
yeah,
which means to claim.
to claim.
Okay, he's already convicted. You see, we're already saying he claims. You know, he's already an idiot. You know, okay. Rangyu, it's gyu, cause, is marikpa, misunderstanding. Good. Some people translate as ignorance. It's not. The first limb of dependence is not ignorance. Okay, it's a more active. It's not a not knowing. It's a misknowing. Yeah, it has to be translated as misunderstanding. Ignorance is not the root of Buddhist problems. It's misunderstanding. Kune langba is the verb for kunlong. Yeah, motivated by. Okay, motivated by. So something's going to be motivated by misunderstanding, and that misunderstanding is its cause. Okay, what? Sakche kile. This is this is Stanley's text. This is Abhidharma language. Okay, sakche means what? Yeah, like stained or okay, stained. Sakpa means like what if you drop butter on your shirt, on your blouse, and it spreads this sakpa. It's a stain that spreads. It's a nasty stain. Sakpa. It comes from the word zak, which means to drip. And that's a word for what happens at birth or during menstruation. So the connotation is that dirty, messy, sakche. Lei, lei. Yeah. Now this is interesting because it has to be wrong, right? It's supposed to be wrong. Pangja means something you want to get rid of. Something you want to get rid of. Yin, kyap, always. Anything motivated by misunderstanding and any kind of dirty karma must be something we want to give up. Is that unreasonable?
Doesn't sound unreasonable.
It's the other guy. It's the other guy. Can anybody think of an exception without looking at the screen?
The screen.
What's a dirty thing, but not something you would say, never do that?
Study and
Oh, I'll kiss you, but you have this beard. Okay, yeah, dirty good karma. Okay, probably. That's probably where he's going. Okay, now, here's our counterexample. Okay, this is something which is dirty karma, but maybe you shouldn't get rid of it right away. Okay, so kewo. You want to read, please?
So kewo.
I like to show off his Tibetan. He learned Tibetan from a video. He learned to pronounce it from the videos that I made. And his pronunciation is better than almost anybody in the room. Okay, go.
So kewo ui.
Yeah.
Gyuki rangyu marik pe kunne lang pe sak che ki
Here's the punchline right here.
gewe
Gewele.
le churchen.
Yeah.
There
Have a coffee. Have a coffee.
there how. No, should be sarcastic, right?
Yeah, right. So I
That's
guess you want to
how-
get rid
Yeah,
of
I like it.
dirty karma. Yeah.
That's how they chirte.
Oh, is it something you want to stop doing? Is their tao. They yimba tao. Is it something you want to stop doing? Well, why you say that? In between here He said what in Tibetan? He said, in between here, understood answer? Chichen. Why the hell you say that? Why you say that? Then we say, Dechen. Because of that. What? Chichen the immature. It's what I just mentioned. Well, what? The immature. Because that kind of example exists. Why? He said, and here he said, Tamadu. And here he said, I don't think so. I don't think there's such a thing. Then he said, what's a sosokewo? Prati, ordinary person. Non-Arya. Non-Arya. Person who has not seen emptiness directly. Pratyajnana. Sosokewo gila la le yepa kashik. Well, because non-Aryas do have karma, and that karma, de gila, I'm sorry, in their mind, sakmekile me. They don't have any pure karma. They don't have pure karma. If they haven't seen emptiness directly, they can't make pure karma. Okay. Okay. What was the counterexample? Gewele.
Virtuous karma.
Good karma. Good deeds. Okay. But done out of a motivation of misunderstanding. Okay. The church told you to do that, and you do it, but you don't understand anything about it. Karmically, you don't understand it. Okay. All right. Then he said, duh. Okay, duh means, I changed my answer. What do you say now? Yeah, you're right. You should get rid of it. You should not be doing it. Okay? It's motivated by misunderstanding. It's dirty. You shouldn't be doing it. Pangja yin. Duh. Chan pangja yin bar duh. I agree that it's a pangja.
Okay.
Then we say,
You give up.
this to Rinpoche talk, right? Diminute. What's that mean?
You can't agree.
Yeah, you can't agree to that. It's just something you should stop doing. What? Langja yin bitch. Langja is the opposite of pangja.
Take it up.
Yeah, lemba. The present tense is lemba, like in Tonglen. Giving and taking. Lemba means something you should be doing. You should take it up. What? If you can't see emptiness directly, then keep doing dirty good karma, because that's going to make you see emptiness directly. Duh. This is duh. It's something you should be doing. Why?
It's a good karma.
It's a good karma. Okay, it's a dirty good karma, but it's a good karma. You can't stop doing it. That's a very, you just learned a big thing, We're not just having a language class, right? You got to do dirty good karma until it's enough to make you see emptiness directly. And then you can learn how not to do dirty good karma. Then you can learn how to do undirty karma. Okay? But it also implies that every person in the world who does a nice thing, who doesn't understand emptiness, is making dirty good karma. What's the main problem with dirty good karma?
It runs out.
Yeah, it's not repeated. You see, a person who understands the pen will say, okay, me and my partner have to go visit the old lady. We have to keep going to visit the old lady. Okay, so that's the main difference. Dirty good karma wears out. And people, like people who made a good first album, rock and roll band that made a good first album, the second album always is terrible, because they get a hit, and then the record company says, okay, do another one, It's like second novel. And okay, so they don't know how to make it, reinvest it. Okay, all right. So that argument goes to DCI also. You see, that's an important argument in DCI. Okay, you can use it for DCI. We do use it for DCI. We're gonna do it this term about how to keep a relationship going. Right? Okay. All right. Go again.
Kachiknare. Rangi gyurpe.
Gyurpe. This is a G. Okay. Real English G. Gyur. And the second one is not an English sound. It's cure. Cure. With a slow voice. I always tell people, if you want to learn to say this, go to Rio de Janeiro. The lady who makes the announcements in the airport is very famous. She goes, flight number 445. All the men are like, it's this voice. It's called a voiced consonant. Gyur. Gyur. It doesn't exist in English. Okay. The first one does. Gyur. So if you're going to teach it to somebody, this is a good example. Gyur. Gyur. This one exists in English. Gyur. This one doesn't exist in English. Gyur. Gyur. You got to do your eyebrows also. Flight number. Okay. All right. Gyur, baby.
Rangi gyur kyur pe.
Good.
Yan lap chuni. Kitok ma gyur pe. Marik pe. Kiet ching. Rang de tenwell. Rang de tenwell. Yan lap chuni. Kinang sen. Du. Kyur pe. De du. De du.
Yeah.
Kinam she. Ket che. Kisempa. Yan lap ni pa. Du che kile kisen ni serna.
Good. I think he may be going on to the second link. So after 1 year, you have reached the second link. Most books will spend about half the time on the first link. Like Vasubandhu's commentary spends about half the book on the first link. And then the rest of the links go faster. It's misunderstanding that we want to understand. Okay, so this is an attempt to give a definition of the second link. And these definitions are very, very, very difficult. They have to be structured like a contract. There has to be no exceptions. And those definitions of the links get very, very long. The correct ones. Okay, so it's long, but it's still not correct. Okay, so let's go to this part. Yela Nipa,
The 12 or
second link,
the second link.
which is Duche Kile.
Duche kile.
We like to call it fresh karma, meaning you did it today. Then next year, when it's ready to open, it's going to be link number 10. It's going to be link number 10, pregnant karma. It's going to be ripe karma, the pregnant lady. Okay, this is the guy making pots. Yeah, okay. This is when you first put the watermelon seed in the ground. And then 2 months later, it's ready to open. Okay, just before it's ready to open, it's link number 10. Okay, so we'll just call it fresh karma. So this Tibetan is a translation of sanskara. Okay, yeah, sanskara, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sun, if you want to know, the sun means bring together. And causes and conditions come together and create the thing. Sanskara. Coming together, creator. Even creator comes from kara. And committee is sun in Sanskrit. Yeah. Sun, kam, kara, creation. Okay.
Do in the first seal is like with a sa suffix.
Yeah. That's a past tense, and then this is byas.
Okay.
Created,
Okay.
produced. This is factor. This is the word for factor. Okay. Good question. So, of the 12 links of dependence, the thing which acts as its cause, is marikpa, misunderstanding. And that's not just any misunderstanding, because we know that not all misunderstandings are the first link. Okay, we went through that. Give me one exception, for example.
Other people.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I can misunderstand other people. That's not going to trigger fresh karma for me. You see, it has to be aimed at me or mine. It has to be jikta, destruction view. Okay, so it is triggered by a first link, which is misunderstanding, okay? And its result, okay? So he's placing it in the context of what happened before it and what happened after it. So what's the third link? Monkey? Consciousness. Normally entering the womb. Okay? So he's placing it in the context of the of what came before and what came after, which is not a bad way to define it. So its cause is the misunderstanding in the same chain of causation, in that same chain, and its result is in the same chain, Jeduki Namshe, which means consciousness
Resultant consciousness.
of the result period. Consciousness of the result period. Because it's almost, you have to say that, because as a result of karma, that's called result consciousness, but that consciousness was also there when you made the karma. It was also a cause. The consciousness that was linked with the sempa, with the movement of the mind, that's causal. That was that link too. So he's being very careful. He's writing a contract.
At the time.
He's trying to cover everything. Yeah, not bad. So far, not bad. By the way, this word you guys should learn, ben. See, matsen means name or definition. Very, very, very common. Without the mao, it means a member of a group. Nangsen is an idiom, and Adam can add that to your idiotic idiom list. Nangsen means a member of a list. Okay? Without the mao. And this carver or this typist has thought, oh, because the frequency between the two is about 0.005 to 100. You see, I mean, this is very rare. So they've thought to fix it, which is why I don't let people fix my stuff.
But non-sen isn't really a thing.
Yeah, no, this is nothing. Yeah. Okay. So why? It's a member of the 12, you see? It's a member of the 12 links, you see? He's trying to put it in the wheel. He doesn't want to talk about consciousness outside the wheel because there's zillions of those. He said, I'm talking about link 3. No, the link 3 that's in the 12. You know, he's being very, he's trying to do a good job, this guy. There's semba, movement of the mind, raw karma. There's 3 kinds of karma: physical, verbal, and mental. This is mental. And this is the one that triggers physical and verbal. Okay, this comes the moment before. You think to call Sugang something bad, then you call him something bad the next moment. You see, so that's his raw karma. The mind goes, I'll call him bad. You bad. You know, just the moment before. It's called semba, means movement of the thought. And this is the definition of karma, really. Okay. So I don't think he's done a pretty good job. We have to find a counterexample. If you're lazy like me, you just go to the next line. Don't even think about it. Oh, go ahead. Good. Always sarcastic. Yeah. Good. This is a sloppy reason, in my opinion. But anyway, sagmekile, no sakpa, no drip, no oil stain, you know, no dirty, icky stuff. Clean karma. Okay, unstained karma. Sunja der tao. Sunja is the opposite of tsenyi.
Oh, it's a thing to be defined.
Definidum. But I prefer to call it the thing we're trying to define. Okay, okay. There's a technical word for it, which is definidum, but I've never heard that in a restaurant. This is how we decide if a word is good. We say, does anybody use it in a restaurant? If you said it to a waiter, if Stanley went to the pizza place and said, excuse me, I'm from China, what's a definidum? Then Lei would just look at you and say, I'm not dumb. Okay? Sunja, so is that what you've been trying to define? What is he trying to define up here? Right here. Good, nice. Fresh karma. As the second link. Oh, you telling me that's fresh karma as a second link? Well, why? Senyi Deicher. Your definition fits it. Your definition fits it. It was triggered by misunderstanding right before it, and it's gonna trigger consciousness right after it. It fits your understanding. It fits your definition. Okay? If your definition is correct, then understand karma should be the second link. Okay? So something's missing from his definition. Okay? Oh, well, okay. It is the second link. Okay? Clean, sorry, unstained good karma, for example, because they don't talk about unstained bad karma normally. Unstained good karma. Yeah, I agree. It is the second link. It can be the second link. Oh, I'm sorry. He says, I agree, and we say you can't, and he says why, and we say because it's what it is. So that's a kind of sloppy, I think it's a little sloppy. I don't think you get away with that in the debate round. Again, for it to be a legal reason, you have to change the intonation. It's unstained karma. Then it's different from what you see what I mean? It's unstained. And then the guy's supposed to say, oh, you're right, you know. It's unstained. It can't be the second link, okay? First time you said it's unstained karma. And he goes, well, what's that? So who cares? And then you said, it's unstained. He's go, oh, okay. It's like how you talk to your husband. Okay. All right, got it? You guys all right? He's already confused.
How does the unstained karma fit the definition?
No,
He said,
How is it triggered by ignorance is what I really want to know.
Misunderstanding.
yeah. No, it is. The guy hasn't seen emptiness yet.
Yeah.
Okay. He hasn't seen the emptiness directly yet. And it's gonna cause consciousness. It's a result. It's a result in consciousness. I could, if I was gonna represent the Ranglu guy, if I'm gonna represent our guy, I'd say, well, if someone, let's say you're an Arya and you do a good karma, right? That's you and your husband both go to the nursing home after you already met your husband, right? So that's kind of a sak mekile, right? So can it create a consciousness? Can it trigger a consciousness? Yeah, I mean, anyone who sees you go is going to trigger a visual consciousness. Oh, look, Xiaoping and her new husband went to the nursing home. You see, it can trigger a consciousness. You see what I mean? Someone sees you, it triggers a consciousness. Okay? So it fits, it's motivated. Oh, how is it motivated by ignorance?
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's tough. Okay, let's say this. It's motivated by inborn form of the view of destruction of a person who just saw emptiness directly, but still sees things as self-existent.
That's your creative answer.
Yeah.
So we're at one
Yeah,
minute.
Jikta Senke.
Well, doesn't this have to mean
Jikta
like the first
Senke.
moment of the
They have
practice?
not removed Jikta Senke.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even for him to be having a sakme, doesn't this essentially have to be, does he have to be talking about the first moment of the path?
Well, it has to have reached the Arya path,
Like
yeah.
this is that moment, like he had a,
Well, it could be
a
the whole
negative-
Jetop Yeshi of Tonglam for a person who hasn't gone to a lower path before. Okay,
Actually, time's up for this class.
come on, we just started. Let's just say the next one. Let's just get it said, okay?
Okay.
By the way, when I prepared for term 4,
yeah.
I did a little statistics
Oh.
here. Well, let's stop here.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh.
Term 4 starts here. Previous term was 2 folios. We are about 1/3 through your text. You're doing it on schedule.
Wait till you see mine.
Yeah, some people are not.
I did 0.
So your last class is going to finish around the end of 2019.
Oh.
So you're on schedule. Not everybody is.
Hi, how you doing?
I don't think anyone's ahead of schedule. But you're pretty much on schedule. And we have it scheduled out to 2022 or something like that. And, Adam will finish in 2050 or something. His book's really long.
2,000 pages.
He's going to have less hair than me by the time he finishes. But, you got to just do it. This is long-term thing, It's not going to finish in a year. And it's more important than that. It's like building the Brooklyn Bridge or something, It takes time. Okay.
Kasi
Puki Jushing Meto Cham Rira Ling Shin Yende Genpadi Sangye Shing Du Mikte Uargi Jokun Namdak Shing La Juparsho Ilang Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami
Gewa
Di Gewo Gun Sunam Yeshe Sok Sok Shing Sunam Yeshe